Bigfoot is right now in that realm of legend.
Bigfoot exhibits nocturnal behavior, perhaps to hunt or to avoid detection.
Dr. Mireya Mayor made a startling discovery in the forests of Alaska, massive footprints hidden deep within the wilderness. While leading her team on an expedition, she stumbled upon these enormous tracks, far too large to be made by any human. The mysterious footprints found in the untouched and shadowy woods have ignited curiosity and fear. Could they be the legendary Bigfoot, silently watching them from just beyond the trees? As Dr. Mayor and her team inch closer to uncovering the truth, they face an unsettling question. Should they proceed or turn back before it's too late? The dark quest for Bigfoot. It's hard to believe, right? They were actually seeing something. Something was moving, driven by a long-standing desire to be the first to discover one of the most famous creatures in North American folklore, Bigfoot. A group of experts, all focused on finding unidentified animals, had traveled deep into Alaska's wilderness. Among them was Dr. Mireya Mayor, a well-known primate expert who was comfortable in the toughest environments. On this journey, she found something that chilled her to the bone, and what she discovered would make anyone question the stories they've heard. As the shadows deepened in the Alaskan wilderness, Dr. Mayor's heart skipped a beat. There, just ahead, a shadowy figure loomed, a creature of legend stepping into view. Here they were, once again in the wild, surrounded by thick forest. The group was determined to find Bigfoot, a creature that for years had been the subject of countless stories and rumors. This mysterious being is said to roam the forests of the United States and Canada, towering above any animal we know. Though many had searched before, no one had ever found solid proof. But this time felt different for Dr. Mayor and her team.
For physical evidence, I'm trying to use the exact same methodology that I've used in the past.
Something in the air made it feel like they were close to a discovery. These footprints were unlike anything she had ever seen. The size alone was enough to send shivers down her spine. The excitement among the team grew quickly. Could this finally be proof that the legendary Bigfoot was real, and even more incredible, that it was nearby? "Look at this footprint," one of the team members shouted, his voice shaking with excitement and disbelief. For so long, people had been searching for this creature. Many came back empty-handed, and over time, people began to doubt whether Bigfoot existed at all. It had become a story, a myth that was almost too far-fetched to believe. But here in the middle of the Alaskan wilderness, Dr. Mayor and her team stood in front of a real, tangible clue. A footprint that might finally give them the evidence they needed to prove the legend of Bigfoot was more than just a tale. "What is that?" Dr. Mayor said softly, stepping back from the large footprint. She needed a moment to gather her thoughts. Could it really be that Bigfoot was out there? For her and her team, finding Bigfoot would be the answer to a mystery that had puzzled people for generations.
Really strange. Tell me what you see in front of me.
Oh my God.
These are fresh from last night.
Whoa.
The world had been fascinated by this creature for decades, and here they were, possibly about to bring the truth to light. They knew the journey ahead wasn't going to be easy, but this discovery gave them the drive to push forward. But as excited as they were, the team knew their work wasn't over yet. They had found these strange footprints, but they still didn't have the solid proof they needed to convince the world. Yet they couldn't deny that something huge had moved through the area. "Did you hear that?" Dr. Mayor asked, her voice barely above a whisper. The response was silence. But it wasn't just any silence. It was the kind that makes you feel like something is watching. That silence only pushed them further, their mission fueled by the unknown that seemed to be hiding in the shadows. But this wasn't the end of the mystery. As more people tuned in, the Bigfoot legend only grew. Despite the excitement surrounding the show, there were still skeptics. People who didn't believe Bigfoot could be real. Many claimed that all the so-called proof over the years, blurry photos, shaky videos, strange sightings, wasn't enough to convince anyone. Bigfoot remained a mystery, lumped in with other odd topics like UFOs and aliens, and yet there were still people who refused to give up, certain that Bigfoot was out there waiting to be discovered. Night falls, and their search for the unknown begins. Echoes in the night. Among those determined to find out the truth was Dr. Mayor's team. This group of experts was made up of people from different backgrounds, each bringing their own skills to the search. Bruce Johnson, one of the team leaders, was in charge of collecting all the important data. Then there was Russell Accord, a survival expert with military training who knew how to handle the toughest environments. Finally, Ronnie LeBlanc, a dedicated Bigfoot researcher, brought years of experience to the team. Together, they journeyed into some of the most remote and famous Bigfoot hotspots in North America, determined to either prove or disprove the existence of the creature. Moving through the thick forest at night, their only source of light was their flashlights. It was easy to imagine that anything could be lurking just beyond the trees. Every small sound, whether it was a cricket, a gust of wind, or the rustling of leaves, seemed louder in the darkness, keeping everyone on edge. This constant alertness wasn't just paranoia, it was necessary for survival in the wilderness. And in a situation like this, where the unknown felt so close, every sound made their hearts race. "It's huge! This is the biggest heat signature I've ever seen," one of the team members said, his voice barely hiding his excitement. They were looking through a thermal imaging camera, and the large heat signature on the screen was unlike anything they had encountered before. Even with their limited equipment, the team felt they were on the verge of something important. Their years of experience in the field and their shared determination to uncover the truth might just lead them to the proof they were searching for. But this wasn't the most frightening part. As close as they felt, the mystery still loomed large.
"Hey guys, I am getting a really big heat signature up in the trees."
While they had found intriguing signs, footprints, strange heat signatures, and eerie sounds in the night, they still hadn't uncovered the final piece of the puzzle. Bigfoot remained elusive, but even if they didn't walk away with the definitive proof, the journey itself was valuable. It wasn't just about solving a mystery anymore, it was about pushing the limits of what we know, daring to explore the unknown. For Dr. Mireya Mayor and her team, the search for Bigfoot was far more than just a job or a quest for fame. It was a pursuit of truth, a mission to uncover something that had remained hidden in the shadows for centuries. Whether or not Bigfoot is ever found, the journey continues to inspire curiosity and wonder. The stories of this mysterious creature, passed down for generations, will keep people searching, keep them exploring, and that in itself is the real adventure. The mystery is far from over, and as long as the search continues, Bigfoot will live on in the imaginations of those daring enough to seek the truth. At just after 8 o'clock, the team was relying on thermal cameras, an important tool for finding heat signatures in the dark and dense forest. These cameras were crucial because in the pitch-black woods, seeing anything with the naked eye was impossible. The team hoped the cameras would help them spot signs of Bigfoot, and soon enough their hopes seemed to pay off. The thermal camera picked up a strange heat pattern from far away, something out of the ordinary. Under the moon's glow, every step could answer or ask a new question. The Alaskan mystery. This immediately raised a question in everyone's mind. What was this heat coming from? Was it a harmless animal, or had they actually found a trace of the legendary creature they were searching for? As they moved closer to the source of the heat, they found something unexpected. It wasn't an animal, but a glowing, warm spot on the side of a tree. Even though it was cold outside, the tree was still warm to the touch. The team members were both excited and puzzled by this discovery. What could have caused it? They stood around talking about what it could mean. Could the heat be a leftover sign from Bigfoot passing by, or was there something bigger going on? The heat was intense enough to suggest whatever caused it had been there very recently. Maybe even too recently for their comfort. The realization made everyone in the group both thrilled and a little uneasy. They knew they were close to something, but that closeness also made them nervous. However, this was just the beginning. As they continued to discuss the strange warmth on the tree, the mystery only deepened. All of a sudden, they started hearing strange noises. These weren't the sounds of the animals they knew lived in the Alaskan wilderness. The team was familiar with the usual wildlife in the area, animals like beavers, raccoons, and hares, or bigger creatures like bears and wolves. But this sound was different. It was unlike anything they had heard before, deep and unfamiliar, coming from somewhere hidden in the dark woods. At this point, the team was feeling a mix of fear and excitement. The idea that they might be on the verge of discovering Bigfoot was thrilling, but at the same time, the unknown was scary. They felt like something was watching them from the darkness, and the thought of that was unsettling. But after taking a moment to calm down, they realized something even more startling. Whatever it was probably much closer than they first thought. This wasn't just an exciting discovery anymore, it was also a little frightening. But even this wasn't the worst part. The worst part came when they saw the creature move. It happened so fast that if not for the thermal camera, they would have missed it completely.
Huge. This is the biggest heat signature I've ever seen.
The camera picked up a quick, fleeting heat signal. The creature had been watching them from above, and then suddenly it moved. What surprised the team most was the speed at which it moved. No animal they knew of in the forest could move that quickly, especially in the freezing cold. This discovery was both exciting and terrifying. It meant the creature wasn't just big, it was fast and probably watching them more closely than they had ever imagined. The team was now faced with a tough decision. Should they keep following this strange trail, or should they retreat, knowing that they might be putting themselves in danger? The cold Alaskan night didn't make it any easier. The freezing temperatures would usually slow down most animals, making them less active. But this creature was different. The thermal camera showed that it was still moving quickly and with agility, something the team hadn't expected. This made them question everything they thought they knew about what could survive in these conditions. But even with all the data they had gathered, the team still couldn't say for sure what they were dealing with. The thermal readings gave them a lot of information, but it wasn't enough to provide a clear picture. They had seen heat patterns, heard strange sounds, and witnessed something moving at impossible speeds. But they didn't know what it was. Despite not having all the answers, the team was more determined than ever. They knew they were onto something big, and this encounter made them believe that Bigfoot might not just be a legend after all. Each clue they find blurs the line between known and unknown. Into the wilderness. The team felt reinvigorated. They had come closer to Bigfoot than they had ever dreamed of, and their initial fears began to fade in the face of their excitement. The warm spot on the tree and the eerie sounds were clear signs that something was out there. It wasn't just about tracking a myth, it was about solving a mystery that had fascinated people for generations. But even as they pressed on, they knew there were still more surprises waiting for them. This discovery wasn't the end of the story, it was just the beginning. The leader of the group was especially motivated by what they had found. She had been passionate about the search for Bigfoot for years, and now she felt they were closer than ever. Her team shared her excitement, and despite the fear they had felt earlier, they were ready to keep going. The Alaskan wilderness was tough and full of challenges, but they knew they had the tools, the experience, and the determination to continue their search. They weren't going to let the fear of the unknown stop them from uncovering the truth. As the night went on, they gathered their equipment and prepared to move deeper into the forest. The strange noises, the heat signatures, and the mysterious movements had only strengthened their resolve. They were ready to face whatever lay ahead, determined to get closer to the answers they sought. Even though the forest was dark and dangerous, their mission was clear, and they knew they couldn't turn back now.
Doing nocturnal searches for primates in different jungles around the world.
They pressed on, confident that the clues they had found would lead them to something incredible. The dense trees and thick darkness of the Alaskan forest were intimidating, but the team felt more motivated than ever. They had already come this far, and nothing was going to stop them from continuing their search for Bigfoot, no matter what the wilderness threw at them next. The group, driven by a mix of curiosity and determination, pressed deeper into the vast, unforgiving Alaskan wilderness. Their goal, elusive and possibly unattainable, was to uncover the truth behind one of North America's greatest mysteries. Some viewed their journey with skepticism, seeing it as a reckless endeavor bordering on foolhardiness. They questioned the wisdom of venturing into such dangerous territory where nature's unpredictability could quickly turn a scientific mission into a life-threatening situation. Yet others admired their resolve, interpreting their decision to press on as a testament to their bravery and their insatiable thirst for discovery. These differing opinions didn't matter much to the group itself. Their minds were set. They were determined to find what had evaded so many before them, no matter the cost. As they ventured further, a strange and unsettling feeling began to take hold. Each step deeper into the wilderness seemed to bring with it a sense of being observed. The sensation was palpable, yet no physical signs confirmed their suspicions. It was as though the trees themselves had eyes watching their every move. Despite the eerie feeling, they refused to let it slow them down. The wilderness was vast and could easily play tricks on even the most experienced explorers. This was not their first foray into remote regions, and they knew that such sensations were often a product of their surroundings. Still, the feeling gnawed at them, creating a sense of unease that lingered in the back of their minds. In the silent forest, they're on the brink of a big discovery: the mysterious geometry of the wild. It wasn't long before they stumbled upon something unexpected: a formation of trees, upside down and arranged in a perfect triangle. This bizarre discovery lay in what appeared to be an old logging site where the remains of past human activity were still evident.
These upside-down trees could be indicative of some sort of Bigfoot culture.
The sight was surreal, the trees forming a geometric pattern that seemed too deliberate to be a natural occurrence. The sheer oddity of it sent ripples of confusion through the group. Was this a sign of human activity or something else entirely? No one could provide a definitive answer. The discovery sparked heated debate among the team members, with Bruce in particular feeling as though he had seen something similar before. Bruce's memory flashed back to a previous expedition where he had encountered a similarly strange formation deep in the woods. The connection between the two experiences felt too strong to ignore, leading Bruce to speculate that these strange tree arrangements might be linked to other mysterious phenomena reported in the area. Over the years, countless stories had emerged from this region, most of them dismissed as myth or legend. Yet Bruce couldn't shake the feeling that there was something more to these tales. Perhaps they had missed something during earlier investigations, something crucial. The tension within the group began to rise, fueled by a mixture of excitement and anxiety. Each new discovery added to the growing sense that they were on the verge of uncovering something monumental. As they continued their exploration, they began to notice odd markings scattered throughout the forest. These marks were unlike anything they had seen before, further deepening the mystery. Bruce's suspicions grew with each passing moment. He had always believed that this area held secrets, but now it seemed those secrets might be closer to the surface than anyone had realized. Despite the unease creeping into their hearts, Bruce urged the group to push forward. Their curiosity was stronger than their fear, and the allure of discovery kept them moving. Bruce, in particular, became obsessed with finding answers. He was convinced that they had overlooked something in their previous investigations, and he was determined to leave no stone unturned this time. Returning to the logging site became a priority for him. Something about that place felt significant, as though it held the key to unlocking the mysteries of the region. Bruce led the team in a meticulous examination of the area, scanning for any signs, biological or otherwise, that might offer clues to the presence of the creature they sought. He was especially interested in finding physical evidence such as DNA or footprints that could prove once and for all the existence of the legendary Bigfoot. The search led them to a nearby riverbed where they deployed thermal imaging equipment in the hopes of detecting heat signatures from recent animal activity. To their amazement, the equipment picked up a large heat source, suggesting that something substantial had passed through the area not long ago. The team's excitement was palpable. Could this be the breakthrough they had been waiting for? The possibility of being on the verge of a major discovery electrified the group, lifting their spirits and renewing their energy. For a brief moment, it seemed as though their hard work was about to pay off. After all the years of searching, they felt closer than ever to solving the mystery that had captivated their imaginations for so long. But with this newfound excitement came the weight of heightened expectations, and the pressure to deliver results grew by the minute. As they ventured deeper into the wilderness, however, the group began to feel the strain of their mission. The excitement that had once fueled their journey started to give way to doubt. What if they weren't tracking Bigfoot? What if something far more dangerous was lurking in the shadows? The Alaskan wilderness was home to a variety of large, potentially deadly animals, including bears and wolves. The realization that they might be tracking one of these predators instead of the elusive Bigfoot sent shivers down their spines. Still, they pressed on, driven by the hope that they were on the brink of a historic discovery. Was it truly Bigfoot, or something else entirely lurking in the wilderness? Let us know your thoughts, and don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe for more mysteries.